All right, guys, remember, keep close body contact, proper stance, and if you lose, you're both fired. Ready? Fight! The Sideline Power Practice Timer is a great tool to run your practices more efficiently, no matter the sport. With its extremely bright 13 or 21-inch LED lights, it can be seen from 100 yards or more in any weather conditions, even the bright sunlight. The timer can be powered with battery, solar power, or plugged in, which makes it perfect for our backyard wrestling matches, where we pit our interns up against one of our employees, Bill, who happens to be an ex-professional wrestler. You can operate the play clock and the game clock simultaneously using the wireless touchscreen controller or the wristband controller. Both have over a half-mile range, so you can always be right in the action. What? He can't do that! What's going on? Oh my God!
I told you!
My leg! My leg!
Hello everybody, welcome to Ball with Bill here with Paul Limongie from Omaha Westside. Well, first of all, I'd like to thank our sponsors, Sideline Power and Sports Boards, for putting this on for us. This is our last episode of this 2022 season here, and we have a very famous coach. Known him a long time ago when I think we were both young, good-looking guys. But anyway, he's done a great job at Burke and been a great assistant at Millard West when they were winning there. And now you're a Westside coach. Congratulations.
Thanks.
How's it feel
Feels
to be
good.
at the real school, best school in the state? Really,
Yeah,
my alma mater.
It's exciting, and I'm ready for the challenge. So yeah, I can't wait to get it going.
Okay, so let's talk about you. Now you come off of back-to-back years. You made the championship game. I mean, you and the thing you did last being Westside, they went back-to-back championship games.
Yeah.
Okay, they won one and then they come in second. The year before they were second too.
Yeah.
But you look at yourself. Let's talk about a little bit about what you did at Burke. I mean, you went a year without playing, and I used to see you in the weight room all the time.
Yeah.
Couldn't do anything that year. You had to do everything from online. Didn't get it, and then you started out real slow last year. And you and Omaha North both just kicked in the buckets and had a tremendous season. So let's talk. I mean, that's an incredible job of coaching.
One of our best jobs we have done in my career is coming back after not playing and not having much experience. And those guys is buying in and getting better every week and believing. And yeah, it was. I'm very proud of that team. They did some great things that I don't think anybody thought they could do, and made the second round of playoffs. And we ran into Westside, and they were just better. And but our kids played hard all year, and they got better. And they were a typical Burke team when it was all said and done. We thought going into Westside in the second round that we could beat them, and we had 3 starters out. And it might have been a different game if we would have had those guys.
Yeah.
But very proud of the accomplishment that team made last year after not playing in 2020.
I mean, you were a doormat almost a year before, not doing anything.
Oh yeah, yeah.
And you lost some kids that year too.
Yeah.
To went to different schools.
Yeah, we lost about a dozen kids, and some came back. A couple came back. Al Cook was the main one. But we lost 2 Division I kids, and they didn't come back. And that 2020 team is, I still think could have been one of our best teams ever. I mean, we were shooting. We thought we could have won it all.
Like was it 2 years? Was it 19 or 18 that you won it?
We won it.
Were they that good? Because your 18 team was pretty good too.
Yeah, we had 28 seniors in 2020, and the guys were buying in. We had a great offensive line, great defensive line. We had good skill, and the guys were really working hard, and you could just tell. And it was taken away, unfortunately. So that was tough. And then coming back and the next year and finishing number 7 in the state. I think we finished and making it to the second round. And and only lost to Bell West. We lost to Westside and we lost to Millard South.
Three of the top teams.
Yeah, and
Three
we
of the
beat
top
everybody
teams.
else, so very proud.
Yeah, I thought that was. I thought both you and Larry did an awesome job of
they
coaching
did,
last
yes.
year and getting those kids through that
Yep.
with going through that year when everybody else played and you guys couldn't.
Sure. Absolutely.
Well, now that you're over to the Warriors, let's talk about that transition because you're taking over a ball club that's had some success here the last few years and been very successful, like you have at Burke too, and you've had to play them in some big games. So, talk to us about that transition, what that feels like.
Yeah, when the West Side job opened, I just knew it was a great opportunity, a tradition of excellence, academically, athletically, all across the board, resources, facilities. I just thought it was a good time to make a fantastic move. But with that comes, they expect to be elite in everything, and that's what I'm excited about. So it's going to be so far it's been a great transition. Everything's been going according to plan, and the kids are working hard, and we're just looking forward to the start.
Good deal. After losing such a heartbreaker last year in a close game, that 7-3 game, I know you weren't the head coach, but how was the attitude of the team?
Yeah, that's a driving force. We want to come back and finish some business, and we want to do it foot by foot. Is kind of the mantra. This team's kind of putting on their back, and it was developed by the team, but they're excited to go, and they feel they left a little bit in the basement. So we're hungry to go. So hopefully that's the driving force.
Well, talk about some of your top returners, Coach, because I know you have some good kids off that team last year that are coming back, and
Yeah.
you have the opportunity to coach up this year.
Yeah, I'll start with one of the seniors we got coming back, Kurt Cooperich. Started at linebacker for him last year and played some running back, played special teams. He's just a great leader, great kid, works hard, very impactful defensive player. He'll be our leader on the defensive side. And then we got Caleb Benning coming back at safety and receiver. He's a great kid who really has great leadership quality, but is a tremendous player. And you have the Resac brothers. One coming back, Anthony, at quarterback. Another one's going to play, some outside linebacker and wide receiver, and they're kind of taking control of both sides of the ball that they're on. And we have another senior that tore his ACL the last 2 years. His name's Ty Kiefer, big, strong, fast kid. I think he ran 10-8, 10-9, and 100 this spring. We're looking for great things from him at safety and wide receiver. And we just got a good collection of guys that are unselfish and are ready to work. And collectively, we think if we continue to get better every week and love each other and do what we got to do, we'll be okay.
And this is, I think, the two teams I look at in Class A that have a target of them on their back is you and Bellevue West. So, what do you do to coach and work around that when you look at the last 3 years? Your two teams have been and probably Millard South, but now they're going to go through a coaching change too. But to me, when you look at next year, Bellevue West and Westside are looked to be the two top teams. So what do you do? It's been the targets on their back. What do you do to keep them so that make them realize that people are out to get them? If you win that's a great win for their team, and it's going to further their program.
Yeah, and it's kind of been the case at Westside for a few years now, and they've been hunted and have really had great years, and we want to continue that and even take it a couple steps further. But we can't worry about other teams. We can only worry about ourselves and us getting better, because if you start worrying about what other people are doing, you're going to lose focus on what you need to do. So we're focused on ourselves, and we know we got to get better every single day. We got to get tougher. We got to get the fundamentals of offense, defense, special teams down. And if we keep that mindset, that elite mindset, and that positive growth mindset, that we feel we'll be okay. And we have a very competitive schedule, and we do play Bell West and we do play Millard South. So we're going to find out in the regular season just how good we are, and hopefully we'll be playing our best football in November.
What do you think, now you've been over there and looked at film and met the players and started working out, what are the keys do you think that they need to win a championship year, to have a championship year this year?
Well, I think it comes down to two things. One's brotherhood and love. You got to be brothers. You got to be unified. You got to be a group that is willing to fight for each other and not so much worry about your pain or suffering, but your brother's pain, suffering that you're playing next to, and you have to be very unselfish, and that goes, all with others pursuing victory and all for one and one for all, and we're going to put some, the second ingredient is, I think it comes down to toughness. It's going to come down to effort and toughness, which is, I'm bringing the ET over from started at Millard West, had it at Burke, but we're bringing that over. We feel so. If we have this love and this brotherhood, and we're tough as heck, and we play with great effort, what more can you do? There's no more you can do. We'll let the chips fall where they may.
When you look at your years of coaching, Coach, the success you had at Millard West, the success you had at Omaha Burke, and now you're moving to Westside. What are your three? You look at the three keys to your success. That makes you've been very successful. So what are those three? Everybody kind of has three keys or a couple keys that kind of guide them and look at you.
I would say the kids got to know and understand that you love them and that you care for them, because if they understand that and you build that relationship with them, they'll run through a brick wall for you. And I've always been able to establish good relationships with my players and really learn to care for them, and they understood that I wanted the best for them. The second thing is you got to instill toughness, and you got to make them tough. And sometimes they're not always going to like it, but kids want toughness. They want discipline. They crave it, and you got to be consistent at it, and you got to do it all the time. And I think the third one is you got to be true. You got to be who you are, and a lot of who I am as a coach, it's very authentic. It's been something I was born and raised with, and that's how I go about coaching, and kids seem to pick up on it, and it has suited me well for almost 30 years now.
Yeah. Don't remind me how old we are,
Yeah,
Coach.
I mean, I started young, so.
So anyway, when you look at it, how do you match your offense and defensive philosophies to coexist? Because you've done that very well at Burke, and I imagine you're going to continue that at Westside. So what are your ideas to how they match and help each other?
Yeah, so offensively, we're going to do what we've done the last so many years at Westside. I really loved going against their offense. I always thought they were well coached, and they gave you, that those couple options that sometimes you're under center, sometimes you're in gun, but you're running the base premise plays. You're running power, you're running ISO, you're running counter, you're running outside zone, and that's what I love. So offensively, not much is going to change. I mean, we want to be very, very aggressive. We want to set the tone running the football, but we also have talent at our quarterback position, receivers to put the ball up. But we're going to set up with a very strong and aggressive run game, and then we're going to put the ball up to our playmakers and let them run. The key is you only have one football, so people got to be unselfish. So the offense is going to look very similar to what it's looked in the past. A few added dimensions, but we're going to come at you. Defensively, the last couple of years we've been 3-4 guys. We're going to keep the 3-4 going at Westside. We're going to sprint to the football. We're going to destroy blocks, and we're going to be as aggressive as we possibly can. And we're going to throw some different looks at you, a couple different coverages. We're going to move the front a little bit, but we're going to try to get those guys playing with extreme confidence so they can play fast and physical.
Very good, very good. Well, we'll take a break here, and then we'll be right back for get Coach Limongie on the board, the defensive genius that I know he is.
Guys, if you don't have anything better to do, why don't you go set up the Raven? We have a coach come in to take a look at it later.
Sure.
The Raven Endzone camera is our top-of-the-line Endzone camera system. It's easy to set up and even easier to use, and it's trusted by some of the top professional football teams in the country. Manufactured in the USA by the inventor of the Endzone camera, this system is like no other. Its self-pan tilt control handle makes one-person operation a breeze. It has been proven for over 20 years to be safe, sturdy, and reliable. It shouldn't take a normal person more than 5 minutes to set up, but with these interns, hopefully they'll be out there all day so we can finally have some peace and quiet here in the office.
Hey, can we get some help out here real fast?
No, I'm not helping you guys set it up. You need to learn on your own.
It's already set up. We just need a lookout right now.
A lookout?
Check it out. It only took us about 5 minutes to put up.
Wow.
Yeah, we're just spying on the neighbors right now.
Ah! No! Oh! No, God! Just as a disclaimer, the Raven and any sideline power product should only be used for athletic events. Do not spy on your neighbor. Please use responsibly. Thank you.
I remember when I first met you, I was at when I got out of the wrestling circuit and met you, and you were first coaching at defensively coaching my nephew.
Yeah.
And you guys were a 4-man front. You didn't have all the, pretty much everybody back then lined up. You got the option, Fred would get that spread, but pretty much everybody lined up and tried to whip you.
Yeah.
Nowadays with these RPOs and all this stuff, how have you changed defensively to combat this type of offensive things that you see today?
I think you got to have 2 safeties back there.
That's the biggest thing I've noticed.
Coverages. I mean, that's basically it. But you also have to be able to, adjust accordingly and with formation. So if you have 2 safeties, you could get yourself into a roll down situation and almost look like a 4-4 again. If you're able to, dictate what the offense gives you and kind of, move your safeties down and back, and bring one of your outside linebackers up on the line of scrimmage, you almost look like a 4-4 very simply. But then if they spread you out, you could just jump them back and play a quarters look and just or a man free look and you basically you rush 3, but you're going to bring some pressures.
Right.
And you got to get that ball in the quarterback's hand as fast as possible and make him nervous.
What's your base? Show us your base front
so
and coverage.
What type of offense?
A spread, base spread offense.
So basically, we'll go like our 505, which is we have a stud, which we call our strong side end. We have a nose, and we have a viper. Okay, and they're basically head up. Your alignment numbers. Head up is a 5. Head up on the center is a 0. Head up on the weak side tackle is also a 5. And then we have our inside linebackers, Mike and Will. We'll say the strength is this way. Is Roger. We have a Mike. We got a Will. We got an anchor, which is a strong side outside linebacker. He'll probably apex number 2 here. And then we got a bandit, which is a weak side outside linebacker. We got corners. Okay, we got 2 safeties, kind of a rover and a free. And we're going to make a wall, and we're just going to, out of this, we could play quarters coverage. We could play man free. We could roll down guys, and just do a variety of things. But basically, we need these guys to be pretty good. You got to be able to make sure you get your fits. This guy's usually a 2-gap player, okay? This guy's a B-gap player, and we let these guys just look at open and close windows. If it's clutter, keep shuffling until you find something open and come with it and just go with it. These guys are either spill guys or crush players, and then the safeties will go opposite of where if the backers come this way, the free safeties come inside of them. If the outside linebacker goes in, the safeties go outside of them, and the corners are just jam. Okay, keeping everything inside, making a wall, and just funneling things out and sprinting the football as best you can.
Now with the game today, with the RPOs, how have you adjusted to them on your defense? Well, I mean, thinking-wise, when I look at it, because that's the biggest thing is, back in the day it was just an option and a pitch. Yeah. Now they're sitting there slinging it out there on you, and so you worry about guys getting downfield on the offensive side, but they don't always see that either. So, it can be confusing out there as a defensive personnel because he's coming off like the run, and all of a sudden the ball's out of his hand to wide out.
And it kind of goes back to why you need 2 safeties, because you could do some things with your safeties and outside linebackers to interchange where one's going one place,
right?
And the other's
match
going
and coverage type thing when they're doing that too.
The easiest thing, in the passing game, maybe man up your corners and they're on number 1s and you play some games with your outside linebackers and your safeties.
Kind of mix them up.
You make your inside linebackers, we do anyway, their primary run, but anytime they can help, hook the curl or whatever, or banjo some things with the outside linebackers, it's gravy. So Yeah, you're going to game plan things from week to week.
Oh,
And
yeah.
usually it's between your safeties and your outside linebackers to mess with the RPO game, because most teams, their corners are pretty standard.
Right,
Okay?
right.
They're going to stay either they're deep outside third, or they're going to man up. The games come where what you do with your outside backers and your safeties, and that's why
okay.
those guys have to be, safety, outside linebacker in today's game is pretty much the same guy.
Corners just need to be able to run, right?
Corners need to be able to run.
Cover.
It helps if they're long.
Right.
Gotta
Long
be
game.
smart, but your safeties, like Caleb Benning, we think is an extraordinary safety, but he could also be an outside linebacker too. I think.
He's that good of an athlete.
He's that good of an athlete.
Gotcha.
We're moving Teddy Resack, an outside linebacker, who could also probably be a safety.
Gotcha.
It's just those guys got to be
Interchangeable,
adjusters.
kind of like what Alabama's gone to, isn't it?
Yeah.
You see where those people love very, very interchangeable.
Yep. And hopefully you got three studs up front that could stop the run game, because teams still going to.
Well, I mean, they're spreading you out to run you.
Yeah.
Let's be
They
honest.
wanna find
And
the
if you're going to
matchups.
jam it in there, that's why the RPOs are there.
Yeah.
I mean,
So
it's
it's just something that each, you have your premise, you have your umbrella of what you're going to do offense and defensively, but you're going to adjust according to what you're going to see the next week. And
Right.
you're going to try to keep teams unbalanced. But
is there much more variance nowadays from week to week, or is it
Well,
very
yeah.
similar? I mean, because I know when you play Miller North now, you got to get
Yeah.
ready for the triple option and
Yeah.
off tackle
Or
in
if
the
you play a
midline.
tight end.
Right.
If you play a tight end.
How many people play a tight end today?
Well, Creighton Prep does.
Okay.
Sometimes, Bell West will, depending on their personnel.
They did last year
Miller
'cause they had
North, depending on their
yeah.
personnel. Just kind of depends on, what each team has. But you don't see this much. You don't see 21 personnel with the tight end and the fullback much. And if you do, you gotta squeeze your outside backer down.
Yeah.
Maybe go to a forefront a little bit and roll your coverage a little bit. So you might have some single high and just kind of go.
How much does the tight end affect you guys?
It just moves our outside linebacker up a little bit. So if we have a tight end here, and we'll do some variations of things, but if we have our stud here, we'll put our anchor maybe.
He'll go strong side
Yeah.
then.
Yeah.
Okay. 9 technique there.
And we could also very simply get into and adjust where we'll move these guys from
Then now you're talking a 4-man. Now you're
Yeah.
back to your 4-man front.
very easy.
Yeah.
And then roll down a little bit, so it's just kind of.
I just know. Yeah, I mean, if they got a good tight end, you see, like Bell West last year, they had that kid that went to Auburn.
Tight end is golden. If you got a good fullback, I think you're golden. I mean, it's just things you don't see much.
No, but if you got them good, they're going to help you.
Yeah, because one week you got somebody spreading you out with speed and quick passes, and the next week they're going to line up and let's run power and ISO and
See if we
see what
can't beat
got.
you, yeah.
So you got to be able to deal with both.
What is your main coverage cover 4 now, or what is it? Because I remember back in the day it used to be 3 and 1 back in before all this stuff changed it.
Yeah, we're going to be between like a man 3 and a quarters coverage, and we'll do some old-fashioned cover 3. We'll do a little cover 2,
But then the different cover 3, and don't you match up your cover 3 nowadays instead of just dropping to zones, or not? Do you still do the old cover 3 where you're
we still have
where you're
the same
cooked a
old-
curl hook? You really
Yeah,
okay?
Yeah.
So you really don't match up until you get to quarters and 1, right?
Yeah, and then we'll do some things. We'll read number 2, and depending on what he does, we'll adjust the coverage according to that. But yeah, it's just it's evolved. It's evolved, but
It's a big difference
there's
when you
still
first
some
started,
basics,
Cole.
yeah.
When I first met you.
Yeah. Oh, 4 cover 3. I mean,
And you stayed in regular cover 3. I mean, it was
yeah,
we'll
we'll
to
do
curl,
some
flats.
some things, but yeah, it was a lot simpler. But we try to keep that premise where our kids can play fast, they can play confident, where they know exactly what to do, and we try to keep that going.
What type of personnel do you look for on defense now?
Guys who can run and hit, and you don't see we don't see the many D linemen much more. So we have our personnel is set where we're going to use our bigger traditional D lineman as your nose man, and maybe have 2 of them, and then our stud and viper, which are our defensive ends, defensive tackles, if you would.
Yeah.
One's going to be a typical looking, 6 foot, 250-pound guy. Well, the other one might be a lighter kid. We'll play on the weak side and have him run a little bit. So, You want your inside backers, they got to be extremely physical.
That hasn't changed, that part.
Yeah, and your outside backers are like safeties.
Yeah, that's the biggest thing. I think that when you look at back, like who was the great linebacker from the Giants? Lawrence Taylor. You don't see an outside. I mean, you don't see it because he couldn't play, but that sucker, nobody rushed a passer better than him, or more vicious outside as an outside backer. But I mean, I don't know if that guy, where you'd put him today.
Yeah.
In this
Yeah,
offense.
he might be at the end, like a typical hand to the ground all the
Right.
time.
Yeah. Because he was so big and powerful,
Yeah.
and he wasn't a great cover guy, but he was okay at it. But my God, nobody could rush the quarterback like him in his day.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and it kind of depends who you play too. I mean, but I'd rather start being physical and fast than anything else, and then
Right.
adjust from there. But
Is there any secrets you can tell us?
Ah,
Tell me your favorite blitz without giving anything away.
I would just say, bringing. Well, I'll show you this. Maybe bringing something up the gut and then bringing.
Do you like the
something from the
crisscross
side.
like a lot of linebackers like?
Yeah, you could do like a multiple. Send your nose one way and
Yeah.
you could do something like this here and here. Just kind of like a.
Yeah.
And just kind of hold back. something
He's
like
got
that.
if you're a man, he's got the back out.
Yeah, that's always fun to do.
I hate that one, and then the one where you send him one way and you run both inside linebackers the same side.
Same. Oh yeah.
I mean, that one that drives me nuts
Yeah,
as
you
offensive
just want
guy.
to make sure you have gap integrity.
Right.
And obviously, you're not going to send all these guys, but guys who are confident in what they're doing. I always say, if you're going to blitz, somebody better get effed up.
Yeah.
Someone's coming for you, and as long as your gaps are covered, you got to go. And you could exchange these where it's just both guys coming off here. You got to be able to communicate the gap, because you never want two guys going in one gap.
No,
We did
that's the
that
thing you
today
want.
at camping. Red Sea splitting.
If they miss, you're in trouble.
Yeah, so you got to make sure you're confident.
Yeah.
But I like some exchanges, and I like to move these Mike and Wills going to the opposite A or B. That's always fun to do. So
Yeah.
it's always kind of work.
I just, as an offensive guy, we always had to have a blitz period just because we get different ones all the
Do you
time.
like blitzes where the blitzers came from depth or came on the line?
I always felt, now unless the guy's super fast, okay, I always felt we could get it off if he was far enough back.
Yeah.
The ones I hated was if you're close in a delay blitz where you stopped, everybody went to their protection calls, and then that guy would shoot the gap. Oh my God, I hated those.
Yeah.
Because the quarterback would get relaxed. Okay, he's dropping, then all of a sudden, he's in his face.
Blitz from depth.
Right.
We call it. We think that maybe gives some issues.
I mean, when you show it, most of us had calls to communicate to, but I know where you think you're coming, then you stay there, and then you come later, and that was always a pain to cover too.
Show it when you're not coming, and don't show it when you are sometimes.
Yeah, but the delay, if you
delay in it a little bit.
or if you come from distance, it's hard. Yeah. All right, man. We'll be right back, and we'll finish up here. Thanks, Coach. Welcome back here to Sideline Power with Coach Limongie. Thank you, Sports Boards and Sideline Power, for sponsoring us. Coach, I've known you a long time. I got out of pro wrestling, and I came in here to Dana to be an assistant coach. And I go out to Millard West. And my nephew played for Millard West, so it's kind of cool. I met this defensive line coach named Paul Limongie. I saw him at the first convention down there. I don't know if where we're at. We're in Tennessee or Texas or where we're at. We sit down and had a couple malt beverages, and we started talking. So I've known Coach a long time. And you were just, you were part of that great staff. You had a great, when you look at it. Because you had Dan as the head coach.
Yep.
Petey was the D coordinator. You were the D line. Truman was the offensive coach. Who was the offensive? Oh, was McLaughlin?
Jim Ryan was there. He went to Gretna for a little bit.
Yeah. Who was the OC at that time with you guys? Was it Dan?
It was Dan.
Dan
Kenny
Call.
Coulis was there.
Oh,
Nick
that's
Danzy on the defensive side.
Yeah.
Chad Young. We had some.
You
Joe
had-
Vocek, the veteran.
Yeah.
Joe Vocek.
Yeah.
That
But
was a great staff.
because Truman, look what he's done.
Yeah.
You've done, and a lot of you, Coach Pete's done. I mean, so it's great to see all that, and
Yeah, it was fun.
we had some good stories back then. But anyway, Coach, you anything to say? Because I think the world of this guy, and I think because I got to know him as an assistant, he always thought the world of him and what a good coach he was and a teacher of young men. And you've done great. And I just want to know that I'm proud of you.
Well, I appreciate, and I appreciate you, what you've done. You've always been a solid, consistent friend with me. You've always, your heart's been in the right place, and what you do for high school football with this stuff, and you're always looking to learn and get better and just be an ally for us. So it's an honor to be called one of your friends, and if you ever need anything, I'm here for it. But just keep doing what you're doing, man. Might have to coach together one day.
I know. Be a warrior, baby.
How'd you let him sneak away to Papio?
Who's that?
Oh, Bill.
You have Papio?
You can help out them part-time.
Oh, I don't know. Jeez. I must have to work quicker then.
He's kidding. But anyway, that's all right. I think Coach done a heck of a job. You really have, and I mean, I'm proud of you. And you kept. And one thing I appreciate the most about you is you kept your humbleness.
Oh yeah, There's a lot smarter guys than me out there, that's for sure. I just try to get better every year and stay up to date and just keep my enthusiasm going and work as hard as you can.
Bob's thought the world of you too. So
Thank you.
both of us.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
But anyway, this is into story time. Coaches, we wish him luck this year at Westside High School, my alma mater, and hope you have a great year. Coaches, stay healthy. That's the main thing.
That's key. Yeah,
That's the
it takes
key.
a lot of luck and health, and
Because you got to run. The regular season, it's not over, and it starts that second season, like you always said.
you got to play this Thanksgiving. That's the goal.
All right, man. We're going to close her out here. Thank you, Sideline Power, for all that you do, and Sports Boards.